Hello there. Welcome to episode 283 of Family Worship Night. Can you believe it? Well, you shouldn't, because I'm actually lying. This is only episode 83, and that wasn't very nice, was it? You know, the theme for our Write a Verse a Day campaign that we're doing here at Fellowship Church this month is about honesty. And God expects us as followers of Jesus to be honest. Today our verse comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25, and it says this: "Therefore, ridding yourself of falsehood, speak truth, each one of you, with his neighbor, because we are all part of one another." You know, it first said that we need to put off falsehood. The section of this chapter just before talks about how we take off our old self, our selfish nature, our sinful nature, and we put on the righteousness of Christ. We get rid of the old, and because we are Christians, because we are followers of Jesus, we should be new. We should look different than the rest of the world. We need to act and speak and believe differently than the world does. We need to have God as our guide and His scriptures to teach us what is truth, and then live by that truth in our lives. You know, it went on to say that we should speak truth and live in truth because we are all members of one another. You know, Matthew Henry, the commentator, said it this way: "Truth is a debt we owe to one another. And if we love one another, we shall not deceive nor lie to one another. We belong to the same society or body, which falsehood or lying tends to dissolve." You know, isn't that true? Lying to each other dissolves our community. And lying is something that God finds detestable. There's all kinds of things that we lie about, little things, sometimes bigger things. I found a list of things that people say to each other that are kind of funny. These kind of rung true to me as I heard of. For example, saying, "Hey, let's keep in touch," when maybe you don't want to. Or, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." How about, "I love it"? Not really. "Yes, honey, I'm listening." Or, "I'll be right there. I'm only 5 minutes away." Or what about, "You know, I think I'm going to be busy that day," when you don't want to do something. Or, "Hey, it's really good to see you." Man, you don't remember their name, or you're not really excited about seeing them. You know, there's things that we lie about. Not that we want to hurt people's feelings, but in subtle ways, these things begin to break down the fabric of society. God expects us to be honest. You know, there's a story in the end of chapter 4 of the book of Acts, and then into the beginning of chapter 5. It begins with a man named Barnabas. He sold off a piece of property, and then he took all the money and gave it to the community of Jesus followers that was growing. He wanted to help the church, and the apostles would then take that money and use it to buy food and help each other out. And if anyone was in need, they could help each other with it. Barnabas wanted to donate to that opportunity. Well, it appears that he got a lot of appreciation and praise for this great act of sacrifice and kindness that he gave towards the church. So another couple by the name of Ananias and Sapphira, they saw what had happened, and they wanted the similar praise from the community. They wanted to look good, in other words. And so they too sold off a piece of property. But then they kept part of it for themselves, and they brought the rest and gave it to the apostles and said the same thing. "Everything that we made off the sale of the property, we're giving it to the church." But the apostles knew that they were lying. And they were trying to do this not out of the generosity of their heart, but instead to ingratiate themselves towards the broader community. They were lying. They were both struck, the husband and the wife were instantly struck dead. You know, God does not want us to lie. The Bible says it is detestable to Him. Let us keep truth and truth only in our mouths as we interact with one another. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Family Worship Night. It's only 83. We've got a few more to go, and I hope to get to at least 100. But for now, we'll have a great week, and we'll see you next time at Family Worship Night.